We're here with Steve Connolly, Higher Brain. What's the name of the technique? Higher Brain
Living.
Higher Brain Living technique,
Yeah.
which I want to learn a little bit more about. We're going to talk a little bit about Logical Soul. Actually, we're going to do a session with Steve, Logical Soul here. I've just met Steve briefly, not too long ago, him and Eric. And so I don't know what he's going to cover or what's going to go on, but we're going to check and find out what's going on with Steve and see if we can help you here today or make some new decisions.
Good.
So tell me what's going on with you. What can we do here today?
Well, actually, through Higher Brain Living, I found that I had a self-worth issue, and it popped up, and I said, I have a self-worth issue, and I said, no, that can't be. Of course, I realized that denial was the first clue that I did, so I accepted that. And looking back, I've had a rather roller coaster ride financially, and some integrity issues have been wrapped up in that. And you know, I've been, you know, certainly broke and then made a lot of money and then broke and then make a lot of money.
Right, so roller coaster, yeah.
Exactly. Not really on that roller coaster. Things are moving up, and I've got 4 or 5 different things that I'm doing. And 2 or 3 of them are working very well. One I'm right on the precipice of, which is huge, and I just want to make sure that I don't sabotage it.
Okay,
You know?
sounds fair. Actually, a lot of what we'll do with this session is entering the field of what I call the money matrix method, which is sort of like a specialized form of Logical Soul. It's the technique I use for money, and basically it's sort of a shorthand because the statements are pretty much there. In other words, they're pretty much set. And so we just go through the statements and find out where you are with that. And then we can discover, surprisingly, sometimes not so surprisingly, that the underlying issue has nothing to do with money at all. Maybe something else. But we don't know. We'll just see what happens. So you mentioned self-worth. A lot of times self-worth is a very vague concept. And we really can't quantify it. We can't measure it. We can't quantify it. We don't know what it means. And so therefore, what decision is related to it? But there is a feeling related to self-worth. And so the feeling, the first thing I do about money is I ask you to make a statement. We'll test yes and no statements first. That's how we start off. But once we get into that, we'll test the level of feeling. In other words, what is the level of worth that you think you are worth in terms of finances and things like that. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and get into the discovery phase, which is just testing muscle. Your strong muscle, the deltoid here, and I just have you hold your arm out.
This.
Yeah, just hold your arm out, and I'm just going to use 3 fingers. I'll use about 3 pounds of pressure and count to 3 seconds. So I'll say hold, count 2 seconds, and then push. So I'm going to ask you to hold, and then after a slight gap, then I'm going to push down. Okay, hold. And just meet my pressure, okay?
Okay.
Hold. Good, okay. Say, my name is Steve.
My name is Steve.
Hold. Like say, my name is Sal.
My name is Sal.
Oh, no. Right. Your conscious mind says something, but your subconscious doesn't agree. Then the involuntary muscles pull out, and there's sometimes a rubberiness or a weakness that shows. So that's how I can use this as a feedback. And it's fairly accurate. Let's use some simple statements here. My name is Steve.
My name is Steve.
Hold. I ask you the same ones I asked for Eric. I have 2 arms and legs. I have 2 arms and 2 legs.
I have 2 arms and 2 legs.
Oh. Say I wear glasses.
I wear glasses.
Oh. I have $1 million in the bank.
I have $1 million in the bank.
Oh. No. I take it you don't.
I don't.
Well, let's go ahead and test your money.
Okay.
Worth. How much money do you think you're worth, Steve? And I'm not talking about how much you have in the bank. I'm not talking about your assets. I'm not talking about your net worth. I'm talking about a feeling. A feeling. If someone were to say, Steve, you're worth $1 million, or Steve, you're worth $20 million, or Steve, you're worth a plug nickel. You know, what is the worth that you bring to the table? In other words, what do you think? What is your subconscious, if it had a voice, would say that you're worth?
Well, I think that would be $1 billion.
$1 billion. See, I'm worth at least $1 billion.
I'm worth at least $1 billion.
Oh, no. Okay, probably less than that.
Okay.
I'm worth at least
999 million.
I'm worth at least 999 million.
I'm worth at least 999 million.
Oh. No. You're trying, but.
I sure am.
Okay, I'm worth at least 500 million.
I'm worth at least 500 million.
Oh. Okay.
Getting there.
I'm worth at least 600 million.
I'm worth at least 600 million.
Oh. I'm worth at least 700 million.
I'm worth at least 700 million.
Oh. Now, somewhere between 600 and 700 million.
Okay.
Okay? That's not bad. That's not bad. Most people should be that way. I'm worth at least 690 million.
I'm worth at least 690 million.
Okay, 699 million.
699,999,999 cents.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. All right, so you're worth 699 million. That's not bad.
No.
However, money, as you know, because you keep getting it and losing it,
Right.
it's kind of fickle, and it's not based on one idea of how we think about it or how much we think they're worth.
Right.
You said something about there's a worth issue, but it doesn't apparently, that's not apparently the catching point.
I don't think it is anymore. I think I've
What, how much money, now, this was a catching point for me coming up, and that is acceptance. Because my grandmother, who was a born-again Christian, always says, you know, you've got to be Christian, and Jesus was poor, so therefore stay poor and you'll be happy and the rest of your life and all that. And so I had trouble accepting money. Somebody would give me money, and I would say, no, I can't accept that because that's earthly stuff. I found out real quick that you can't spend spiritual dollars at the marketplace and they don't take it at the grocery store. So you have to spend actual dollars. And so I had to learn to accept money, even though begrudgingly I didn't want to. And a lot of people still have attitudes like that. I doubt you do, but let's just test it anyway and find out where you stand in it.
Okay.
How much can you accept? If somebody, you know, my friends Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and
Richard Branson.
Richard Branson, all those guys, they all decided they're going to be Buddhist monks and go live in the Himalayas and give up all their earthly possessions. They're going to pool it all in one brokerage house, and one check is available on it. And with their wishes, this check has to be given to the first person that I come across, and it happens to be you.
Yes.
So I have to write you a check for the full amount in their account, and it's billions,
Right.
maybe trillions. But how much do you want me to write? You don't have to take it all, but how much can I write the check to you for?
100 billion would be a good start.
100 billion. I can accept at least 100 billion.
I can accept at least $100 billion.
Oh. Okay, that's good. I didn't think that would be a problem. So 100 billion, we'll chalk that up.
Acceptance is not my issue.
I got that.
Keeping it is my issue.
Okay. Worth is not an issue, acceptance is not an issue. How much can you easily earn? In other words, without a whole lot of effort, you can easily go out there and pull. In other words, worth is stationary, so like you right here.
Right.
Accept just means you open the door. Earn means you go out and get it.
100,000 a month.
100,000 a month.
Easy.
I can easily earn 100,000 a
I
month.
can easily earn 100,000 a month.
I can easily earn 20 million a year.
I can easily earn 20 million a year.
I can easily earn 100 million a
I
year.
can easily earn 100 million a year.
See, earning usually has to do with your capabilities, and obviously you feel like you're capable, so that's good. So I would put, for all practical purposes, unlimited. The worth, self-worth is capped at 700 million?
Million.
700 million, okay. So far, that's the slow horse. The fourth item has to do with how much you can commit to. In other words, a commitment is you're there, the worth is there, you're opening the door, which is acceptance. You're earning, you're going out and getting it. Commitment is pulling it in over time. Pulling it in over time. So a commitment means over the next 5 years, how much can you commit to? You can get this.
I'm back to the 1 billion again.
Okay. I can commit to at least $1 billion over
I can commit to at least $1 billion
the next 5 years.
over the next 5 years.
Oh. Yeah, okay. Now, you passed the first four. Very little difficulty. What happens, though, is that we don't live in isolation. We have things that affect us, either subconsciously or in our environment. The people who affect us the most are mother, father, and ancestors. Okay. So what I want you to do is, that we're going to make these statements again in the presence of mother, in the presence of father, in the presence of ancestors, and see what happens.
Okay.
Okay?
Interesting. I just
Okay.
got a feeling.
All right. Say, how much are you worth? You said 600 million before.
Okay.
I'm worth at least $600 million in the presence of my mother.
I'm worth at least $600 million in the presence of my mother.
Oh. I'm worth at least 600 million in the presence of my father.
I'm worth at least 600 million in the presence of my father.
Oh. No. I'm worth at least 600 million in the presence of my ancestors.
I'm worth at least 600 million in the presence of my ancestors.
Oh. Okay, so it's father issue. Okay, so how much are you worth in the presence of your father?
My father didn't put any emphasis on money whatsoever.
Right. So this is about you.
Right,
So because you're always carrying your father with you,
right.
he's in your genetic code, he's in your epigenetics, in other words, his behavior, and somewhere, somehow, is in your morphogenic field. So how much are you worth in the presence of your father?
Well, it would be unlimited, but it wouldn't be in money.
Okay.
He said, money's not important, make as much of it as you can.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so how much I am worth blank in the presence of my father? How much would that be? That you could be strong with?
I am worth 500 million in the presence
I'm
of my
worth,
father?
I'm worth at least 500 million in the presence of my father.
I'm worth at least 500 million in the presence of my father.
Oh. No. Okay, I'm worth at least $10,000 in the presence of my father.
I'm worth at least $10,000 in the presence of my father.
Oh. I'm worth at least $1,000.
I'm worth at least $1,000 in the presence of my father.
Oh. I'm worth at least $1.
I'm worth at least $1 in the presence of my father.
Oh. Hey, you got $1.
All right.
I'm worth at least $500 in the presence of my father.
I'm worth at least $500 in the presence of my father.
Oh. I'm worth at least $999 in the presence of my father.
I'm worth at least $999 in the presence of my father.
Oh. It's a little weak. So somewhere between $500 and $900, somewhere
Okay.
in there. Let's just say I'm worth at least $750.
I'm worth at least $750 in the presence of my father.
Oh, okay. So it's a little more than that. We'll just
Okay.
go with that. We'll just say like $800.
Okay.
So your dad will let you have $800.
If he was still here.
More than that, well, he is.
Okay,
See,
well, he
that's
is.
the problem.
That's
So
true.
the problem, he still lives within you, in your nervous system.
Right.
And so maybe that roller coaster has a little bit something to do with that. You know? Let's just act as if the self-worth, because you brought it up first, and it seems to be the weakest of all the ones that we tested, and it seems to have father stuff attached to it. Let's just go with that, see what happens, okay? All right, so close your eyes, Steve. Is there anywhere in your, when you think about your father and you think about money all at the same time, is there anywhere in your body where you feel something, like a tightness or a sensation or something?
No, I can't say.
Okay, okay. All right, so open your eyes. Let me test something else here. Say this issue about self-worth is my issue.
This issue about self-worth is my issue.
Oh, no, it's my father's issue.
This issue about self-worth is my father's issue.
Oh, yeah. Access is available. Access is available to release it.
Access is available to release it.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, so let's close your eyes. Is your dad still alive?
No.
Okay. So just see him in the room, or see him sitting there, or standing there, and just have a conversation with him, okay?
Okay.
And you're sitting across from him and saying, Dad, I appreciate everything you've done for me. Without you, I wouldn't be here. I'm just speaking for you. You don't have to say these things. And with that in mind, I need your help. Because I would like to go, and I realize this was not important to you. But for me, it's important. And I'm not saying that to separate from you. In fact, What I've done is I've held back because I do not want to separate from you. I've never wanted to separate from you. I felt like because you are a part of my life, because you're a contributor to my life, I felt obligated to stay connected with you at all costs. What I'm doing now is asking for your blessings and your permission to let go of this issue of self-worth about money, to release that, to let it go. And whether or not you resonate with that or whether or not you agree with it, doesn't really matter because I'm simply asking to live my own life. I don't want to disconnect from you, but I need your blessings and your permission to change the decision about self-worth around money. And Steve, notice how he responds.
Oh, he said, absolutely, you go.
Okay,
He said, the only thing I ever wanted for you is just for you to be happy.
okay, excellent, excellent. So with that in mind, give him a big hug, thank him profusely. Thank you, Dad. I always wanted, and just open up your heart, just let him come in your heart, and just be in your heart and say, now I can stay connected with you and still go after a lot of money. I appreciate your blessings on that. And so with that, you come back in your body, take a deep breath, slowly open your eyes. Okay, just, yeah, okay, sure.
One's good.
Okay.
All right.
Say my name is Steve.
My name is Steve.
Oh. I'm worth at least $20 billion in the presence of my Father.
I'm worth it. I'm worth at least $20 billion in the presence of my Father.
Oh. Excellent. I was pushing there too. Congratulations.
All right, thank you. Wow, that was surprising. Because if I had to say what I thought, I would have said, my mom.
Really?
Yeah, because there was a dichotomy
Let
going on
me
there.
check and see if, just to make sure.
Yeah.
Say I'm worth at least $100 billion in the presence of my mom.
I'm worth at least $100 billion in the presence of my mom.
Oh. I'm worth at least $100 billion in the presence of my ancestors.
I'm worth at least $100 billion in the presence of my ancestors.
Oh. Yeah, it's just your dad.
Wow. And that makes sense now, but if you'd have asked me,
Uh-huh.
I'd have said, oh no, it's my mom.
Right. So thank you.
No,
Good
thank
work.
you.
Good work.
Absolutely, thank you very
Good work.
much.
Go out and make a bunch of shingles.
I'll just let it come in and I'll just allow it to flow.
That's right. We're gonna hang around you.